Assalamu alaikum, Eid Adha Mubarak. You're watching Calligraphy and Art by Midhat. Today I'm making a model of Kaaba and Haram around it, and for that I'm using formic sheet, like formic board, and I'm using measuring tape to measure 16 inches because I need a 16 inches square. If anyone don't have measuring tape, they can use scale of 12, like 1 foot scale, and mark 1 foot and then 4 inches after that. So altogether it will be 16 inches, and just draw a straight line exactly the same way. On the other side I have marked 12 inches or 1 foot and then added 4 inches extra to make it 16 inches, and then I draw a straight line on that side too. Now you can see a 16 by 16 square. I'm checking both sides if they are not equal, so I mark the straight line to make it perfect square, 16 by 16 inches. And this is the time to cut my board out. It's formic sheet, and it was so easy to cut with the paper cutter. I just use my scale to put it on the line, and I cut it with the paper cutter. Now because it's a little bit thick, so it didn't cut the whole thing in one time, so I just flip the sheet over and use the paper cutter on the other side, and it's done perfectly. But every time when you use cutter, be careful, it can cut your finger too. So here I have my 16 by 16 formic sheet square. Here are the lines, but I'm gonna use the other side to be at the top of the model. As I have 4 sides of my model, and on each side I'm gonna make a wall which is around the haram. And to make these walls I'm gonna use formic sheet, of course, again, and I need rectangular size, and because it will be the size of the model size is 16 inches, so I will take the length of my wall is gonna be 16 inches and the width gonna be 4 inches. So I need rectangular shapes of 4 by 16 inches. So here you can see I already cut it, and now I'm marking it into 4 by 4 and 4, like 4 times 4 is 16. So I divided my rectangular into 4 portions, and in each portion I'm gonna draw arch, and there will be 4 arches on one wall. So I'm using pencil to draw it first, and then later I'm gonna make them with the marker, with the black permanent marker. So it's always better to draw with pencil first, so if I do any mistake we can fix it, of course, so we can erase them. I'm almost done drawing and fixing my arches, but I need 3 more walls, and they'll be exactly same, and I need to measure them with the same sizes because they will be 16 by 4. I'm gonna divide each portion 4 by 4 inches square, and then we'll add arches in it. So I take more formic sheet to make more walls. If I will mark with the scale, then it will take more time to measure and mark again. So I'm using the first one which I draw because that's the size I need, and it's more quicker and easier. I put first wall and to mark the sizes for 3 more walls. Now it's time to cut them out, and scale always works to stay on the line, and the paper cutter is very easy to cut the formic sheet. Just need to put some pressure on it and it will be all done. There is it. And just moving the extra things out from the place because this is 16 inches and need some space to cut it properly. Just to make sure that the the tip of paper cutter should be sharp, and maybe you have noticed any time that there are lines on the cutter. If any time you feel and you think that your paper cutter is not working properly, you can just take one piece off from the cutter and it will be sharp again. Then the sharp corner will come out. Okay, now you can see that I'm marking the lines for the arches, and even instead of measuring every time, I've used the first one and mark on the spots, and then I put scale and just join these lines on the both sides to complete the line. Then I just draw the arches freehand, and there we go. The second wall, the arches on the second wall is done. Now it was taking me a little bit longer to draw arches every time, so I just put the third wall in the center of the first and second wall, and then I mark them, and I cut a piece of in the shape of arch from a paper, and I just put that paper on, and I mark and I draw the arch on it. This way it becomes more easier and quicker to draw the arches. And that's how, again, on the fourth wall, I just put it in the center of the two walls, just mark the straight lines, put the piece paper which I cut the arch on it, and just draw around it. That's how it's easier and quicker way to draw the arches on it, and all of them will be same size, exactly the same shape and the same size. Maybe you have noticed that I draw a little wider than this paper because I want to join the other arches which I have drawn already with the freehand. There we go. I have all 4 walls are done. I mark them, I draw lines on it, I draw arches, and all drawing step is done. The only thing is to make them prominent, and I'm using Sharpie black permanent. You can use black permanent marker or any, it can be a straight tip, but I'm using a round tip one. It's Sharpie, black Sharpie. It's permanent marker, and it will be dark by drawing this. But whenever it's time to draw anything with the permanent marker, we have to be patient, and we need to do it carefully and little bit slowly, so the lines will be perfect and fine. Even I need to draw the straight lines so they will be more visible and clear. So this is how I just make the first one very carefully and neat. Even you can use scale, so it will be more easier and more neat and straight lines. And the first one is done. The same way I will mark all of them. So this time I just put all of them together and put scale on it to finish my work more quicker. There we go. You can see it was more quicker and straight. So these are the arches around Kaaba and real mosque, Masjid al-Aqsa. There's lots of writing on it, and there's name of Allah, but I'm making a simpler model, so I'm avoiding the writing step here. and it's easier for kids to make. If they want to make a Kaaba model, they can make like that. If you don't have a foaming sheet, you can use cardboard and put white paper on it. If anybody want to use the thermoplastic sheet, they can use thermoplastic sheet as well. It depends the whatever material is available to you. But I have used I used foaming sheet because it was easy to cut and it was easily available on the market. So it was fun to draw this, and because the lines are already there, and we can always fix our lines, because if whenever I feel that the first drawing step is not on the accurate side, then whenever I draw with a permanent marker, or if even at the time of cutting, if I'm cutting something and I draw already, and at the time of cutting I notice that the drawing is not correct or it needs some correction, so I cut it at that spot where it's correct. So it's our decision to draw or cut wherever we want to make our project more closer to the best way. You can ask your kids if they want to try this, and it will be fun to do that, and they're gonna love it because I explain everything step by step and showing it to you, so it will be easier for you. The size of these walls is 4 by 16 inches, and the floor of around the Kaaba is 16 by 16 square. I'm almost done drawing my arches, and so this step is almost done. So there we go, all walls with the arches are done, and it's time to erase some extra lines of pencil to make it more neat. It will be more nicer if it's more neat and clear. And if anybody wanna try this model and they wanna color in the arches, they are most welcome to color them, but I like it this way, so I'm just gonna leave it empty, only the lines of arches and no color in it, because I like more whiter, because they are white in real. It's just neat and clean now, and just couple of lines left and to erase and clean them to make sure that there is not extra lines. So whenever you see some extra visible lines, we can erase them, of course. And if anybody want to try with a different color and you don't want to use the black marker, you can use with the different color of marker. It all depends on the choice. And rechecking is always good, that if we check that whatever we have done is neat enough, is clean enough. Even if not, then we can clean it, of course. So this is done. I'm gonna put these arches on the sides of the Kaaba, and every side will be the inside of the model. Like these arches will not be visible from the outside of the model, but they will be inside of the model. Like it's gonna be the inside of the wall, like it will face to the Kaaba. So it's all done now. I'm gonna put them aside, and now it's time to create Kaaba, and for that I'm gonna use squares. These are less than 1 inch and they are small. I put double tape between them to stick them to each other. Here is the cube of Kaaba, and now it's time to paint it black. I painted with the black acrylic paint and added some like all 6 sides I painted with the black paint, and on one side I painted it with the golden acrylic paint to represent the door of the Kaaba. So this is gonna be the door of the Kaaba. There we go. This side is gonna represent the door of the Kaaba, and I'm gonna add a little straight line on the top of it because there is it on the top of it. Now I put the tape under the on the bottom of the cube to stick it on the model, and this is the center of my 16 by 16 square forming sheet, and I just put it in the center, exactly center in the middle of the board, because the Kaaba is in the center of the haram. And just press it hard to make sure that it's stick properly. And by using the black Sharpie, again I'm drawing Hatim. It's a half circle shape. There we go. Now it's time to add some people and people around the Kaaba. I'm using thumbpins. They are easy to put it in the formic sheet, and thumbpins are representing the people around the Kaaba, and they are doing tawaf around it, and they do pilgrims. They walk in circles around Kaaba 7 times. When people do Hajj, when people do Umrah, they perform Hajj and Umrah, they walk in circle around the Kaaba 7 times, and they complete their tawaf. So these pins are showing, like, representing that these are the people around the Kaaba. At the time of tawaf for Umrah, they can be in colorful clothes. Usually the ladies are in different color clothes, so it's representing them. And at the time of Hajj, the ladies can be in different color, but the men must be in white. As I'm putting the pins around the first circle, they are going far than each other, just to show that as the crowd is away from the Kaaba, they are more scattered, but as they are close to the Kaaba, they are more closer to each other. Mostly, not mostly, but most of like so many people likes to kiss the ghilaf of Kaaba, the cloth on the Kaaba, which is black, and they loves to pray in Hatim. So the more closer is more crowded. Now I'm putting the black acrylic paint with my finger and applying on the top of the thumbpins to show that these are the heads are visible from the sky, from the top of it. So these black points, edges, are representing the heads of the people. Now I'm adding the walls on the sides around the haram, around the sihin of haram, and I added this clear scotch tape, and half is under the floor of the haram and half is on the back of the wall. And the same way I'll add on the 4 sides by adding the clear scotch tape, the wider one, which will hold the walls, and it will not be much visible. So that's how I added 4 sides, and just to stand them, already adding more clear scotch tape on the corners of the walls, but on the outside. As I have told you already that the arches will be visible from the inside. They will face the Kaaba. That's how they are in real. And there we go. You can see it's complete now. I'm so glad that it turned out so well. If you like this video and you like this model, ask your kids to try this out, and if you like it, Please do subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. See you in next video. Bye bye.